Hello and welcome to my first ever voiceover slash speed build thing. I'm Seven Deadly Sims on Instagram and now I'm doing a video which is quite fun. But today we are renovating an abandoned house that I built like 2 years ago, maybe less. I just built it straight after all the debug items came out. So hence why there's a lot around there that I am now cleaning up, and it took so long. I had to cut half of it out. So it took a while. This abandoned house is actually, I think it's the most downloaded build on my gallery profile, which means that quite a few people downloaded it, and some people might have even done their own renovation of it, which would be so cool to see. So if any of you guys have or want to download it, please, and let me see, because you've probably done a lot better of a job than I could. But right now we are doing some landscaping, and in a minute I'm going to use one of these debug walls to just enclose in the space a little bit, because the landscaping was quite wild and natural and a bit overgrown, and I wanted that to make it seem like a cottage sort of style, but I also didn't want it to seem like wild because I wanted it to be far off from the abandoned house it was before. We're landscaping for quite a while because I was sort of struggling to figure out how I wanted to do it, so I ended up putting all these rocks around it to try and make it look like it's got its own separate area, like separate from the actual garden, because before, when it was like abandoned, it was all sort of overgrown, there was junk everywhere, so I wanted to really make sure there was a very vast difference there. So that's why I put all the rocks around, though I wasn't too sure how much I liked it, so let me know if you guys like that, because I was sort of iffy about it. Oh, quick little save there. And I think I'm going to move on to the inside in a minute. Yeah. So the amount of times I actually deleted this floor whilst doing this is crazy, because I was deleting everything and the floor deleted so many times. But we're just trying to get out all the junk and everything from the house, and then we can start on the inside. So I decided to go for the Jungle Adventure floorboards, which I love Jungle Adventure. It's one of the best packs and it's so underrated. And I really like how it sort of, you can do it in different styles. Like it can look like clean and fancy, but then it can also look cottagey. So it was really good for this. Now this kitchen corner here changes around so many times. I had like a dining room, I had a weird circular thing, but I think we figured it out in the end. I was very happy with the final layout. The lower counters that I used are from Patio Stuff, and they're one of the only counters that actually have like a textured countertop piece. The other one is those base game ones that are like the older style, only have like 3 swatches. So I really like these ones, though they aren't very versatile with their colours, so I could really use them in modern houses, which is a shame. And we definitely need more textured countertops. Please, Sims, please. I need it. And I was experimenting with the wallpaper a little bit and decided on a nice backsplash. And then here I took so long finding out which rug I wanted to use. So I ended up with this blue patterned rug, which I sort of thought brought in the door sort of patterns in colour, though the colours don't really match 100%. So I'm not sure how people feel about that, because I know it can annoy some people. Here I'm making a little entryway with just shoes and coats, and I've got a mirror there in a minute, I think. Yeah, here we go. And the stool from Jungle Adventure that I basically use 10 times in every single build. So see if you can spot any more times, because I think you probably will be able to. And here I made another bedroom because I thought that it's a reasonably sized house and the living room space was sort of awkward to do when it was that big, and like I didn't really have anything else to put there, so I thought, oh, we'll just create a kids room, even though I've got to admit I don't like doing kids rooms at all. I bought in some more blue using that Parenthood sofa that's really, really nice, though often I don't really have opportunities to use it because it can look a bit plasticky sometimes. But I thought in this build and in this space it looked quite nice, and I spent quite a while trying to get everything to fit properly on this little side table from Tiny Living, because Sims need to get it so then you can just put it down anywhere instead of it all overlapping and not looking good at all. And I had this weird corner that I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. So I thought that I'd create a little artist's bit, and I created this paint table by sizing down the original paint table and putting it into this Jungle Adventure one, which I thought looked quite nice, and I ended up putting some sketches on top of there. And then here I'm adding a little desk base with the desk from Tiny Living, and that stool is going to go in a minute, only to be replaced by yet another plant. Who would have thought it? And then here I decided to do a bar because I moved the door because I didn't really know what I was going to put on this wall, and I already had like quite a lot of artwork for me around. And I'm now using these Get Famous dividers to try and get rid of that glowing thing in the background because it didn't really fit the idea of the house, the glowing thing. It's more of a nightclub thing. And as you can see, the bar was actually going through the wall, so I had to use those same counters as the sink. But I never really do counters as sinks, and it was quite a fun challenge to have to do that. I mean, it's not really a challenge, but it's out of my comfort zone, I guess. And here I was trying to figure out how to get a washing machine in the build, because I did have a washing line in the garden at the back, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So if you wanted to add one, then you could, or you could just pretend your Sims are going off to like a laundromat or something like that. And then in a minute, I think we're going to be moving on into the kids' room. I hated doing this because I find them sort of boring and is never really my style, I guess. And I don't know, I just don't ever put as much effort into it, so they don't ever look as good as I want them to. So that's sort of the issue here. It doesn't really have much colour in, which is really normal for a kids' room. So I thought of imagined like a tween sort of sim living there, though we don't actually have that age in The Sims, which is very annoying because tweens and teens are very different. And then here we're actually going to put another sink into the bedroom because I know quite a few people who have this, and it's very useful for like brushing your teeth and stuff before you go to bed. And I just thought it was quite a nice area for it. And because there were so many mirrors, not mirrors, windows everywhere in this room, I thought the little space that we did have, we could put a mirror, and that was above the sink. So I really, really liked this room and thought it came out well. And then in a minute, we're going to put down the same rug that we used in the dining room to try and tie it all together, I guess. And curtains, of course, because I always forget to do curtains, and this time I finally remembered, so look at me go. And now we're moving on into the back garden, and I wanted to do like a little barbecue area over here on this patio bit with a table, and again bringing in that blue colour. And then I wanted to also do something for the kid, but almost, well, the teen, but almost make it feel like maybe it's a little bit outdated and not used as much anymore. So I did put in this craft table, which I thought was quite cute, and as though she used to use it, but now is not used as much. And maybe when like family friends come around, then they can use it. So you'll see the outdoor washing line that I was talking about earlier over here, underneath the tree. And I ended up putting some bee boxes in as well because I thought they looked quite cute. And also a flower table arranging because there's lots of flowers everywhere. So I thought that would also tie it all together. Now we're almost into the screenshots, I think. Oh no, we've got to do the little driveway. So I just put down a car. It's not really that interesting. So yeah, enjoy the screenshots. I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down. All around this empty town, I'm searching for the lost and found. But you don't care.